just feel your body on the mat. Have your strap where you can grab it and also a block where you can get to it. And then lay on your backs. Maybe keep the knees bent. Maybe take the feet wide. And let the knees fall into the center. And maybe let the hands rest on the low belly just to feel yourself breathe. As we center ourselves, get ourselves ready for our yoga practice. Just notice how your body feels in this position, laying on a hard floor, even if you have one or two mats under you. And see if you can find balance in your body. Both feet, where they touch the earth, both hips, your back, your shoulders, the center of your head. Purposefully relax your face, the space between your eyes, your jaw, maybe a little space between your teeth even. Everything soft, so that the ears feel heavy toward the floor and the shoulders feel heavy toward the floor. And all you really have to do here is breathe, finding that balance between the in-breath and the out-breath. Just breathing in, breathing out. And then release the hands, let them come to cactus pose. Out to the side, notice how that changes your alignment. Notice what it does to your back, to your hips. And then take your feet nice and wide on the mat. My pinky edges are right at the edges of my mat. And slowly let the knees go from one side to the other side. Really gently at first. There's no big need to rush into your stretch, right? We're just checking things out as we internally and externally rotate the hips, the legs. We start to notice, and notice as the legs move, the ribs move, the shoulders move. Maybe you allow your head to go side to side, right? And notice which way you choose. Does the head go the same way as the knees? Does it go opposite? Just kind of notice how this is feeling for you. And the next time your knees are over to the right, I want you to pause. Keep the shoulders pretty square to the floor. Take the head neutral so you're looking up at your ceiling. Notice how that feels. And then maybe push the left hip up a little bit to lengthen from your left hip to your left knee. So maybe feel a little stretch here. Be mindful of your knees, right? No pain. No pain in the joints ever, right? Whether it's knees or hips or spine. But just a gentle tug as we stretch the front quad maybe into the psoas a little bit. And then release that side, go through center all the way over to the left. Head is neutral, the leg is heavy. Pause here for a moment, just check that side out. And then push the right hip. It's kind of a forward push, right, to find that stretch in the quadricep. Breathe. And release that, and then windshield wiper again. Starting to warm up here a little bit. We've focused on hips on Sunday, and here we are on Wednesday doing some hip work again. Next time the knees are to the right, pause. Hold it right here. If you want more stretch, you're going to take your right foot to the top of your left knee and allow the gravity or the weight of that foot to draw the knee down more. Once again, be mindful. That's the name of the game, right? Be mindful. Otherwise, we could just go to the gym and throw weights around and forget why we're there anyway. So just feel that. And if the foot on the knee hurts, just take it off. There's no reason to go deeper than your body is ready for. Take a really deep breath here and feel the stretch through the whole belly, right? That whole left side belly should feel like a good stretch. And then release the foot first. Inhale, center, let the knees go to the left. Shift the hips if they're getting wacky. Pause and then give it a try. Maybe the foot comes to that outer knee, maybe not. One side can be different than the other. If you have SI joint instability, this could bother that back spot on your back, and if it does, that's your indication. Trust your bodies. Just breathe. Take a deep breath. And exhale it out. Release the foot. Take it all to center. Shift your hips back into the middle if they have gone astray. And then take the soles of your feet together. And let those feet stay on the floor. Just rock side to side. A little supine Baddha Konasana. Let's rock. And then take those legs back to center. Press into your feet. Like, press into your feet. Feel your glutes, right? Notice. Find your breath here. And let go of that squeeze. Good. 2 more right here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Press into your feet. Allow those outer hips and glutes to tone in. No pain, no pain. And let it go. Good. One more time. Give it a good squeeze. And notice that you don't only feel the outer hips or glutes, you maybe feel the inner thighs working here. So again, outside, inside, right? And let it go. Ooh, good. And then bring those knees together. Bring both knees to chest. Watch your lower back so you know who you are. Keep your right knee in. Stretch your left leg nice and long. If you can, let it hover just a couple of inches and take that left leg straight up to the ceiling. Bend the knee toward your chest and push it out and away from you. Just get warmed up. And then circle that, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times. Just warming up the hamstrings, the hips, the thighs. Good. Maybe one more circle right here. And the next time the left leg is pushed straight out, hold it there. If you can, let it hover a couple inches off the floor. Take your hands behind your right knee and take that leg up to the ceiling. Ow! You can keep the knee bent, right? If those hamstrings are still not quite awake. And then bend your right leg and straighten it again. And bend and straighten. Good. One more time. Bend it and straighten it. Hold it right here. Squeeze your lower belly. Either keep your hands where they are, press them down to the floor, option number 2, or reach for your left foot by curling your whole upper body up and looking at your toes. Breathe. And release both knees to chest. Keep the left knee to chest. Stretch your right leg nice and long. Feel that stretch from the front of the hip. And then take that leg straight up. Bend the knee toward your chest and push the leg back out. Let's do 4 or 5, your pace. And breathe. You got it. Maybe one more. And then let that leg press out. Heels pressed out, foot is flexed. We're really working through that hip. Maybe squeeze that underneath glute muscle. Take your hands behind your left knee and straighten that leg up. Oh, oh. Right, feel that. And then bend and straighten a few times. Say good morning to your legs. Breathe. One more, hold it up there. See if you can maintain. Remember that top leg can be bent some, right? Hamstrings take a while to stretch out. So either leave your hands here or press the hands to the floor or curl up and reach for your right foot. And breathe. Watch the head, the neck. You know you can take one hand behind the head if the head is too heavy today. Big deep breath and release both knees to chest. Oh, that feels good. Good, and then grab your block and place the block between your thighs or between your knees. I'll have mine poking up so that you can see where it is. Good, and then neutral spine, so you're not flat on your back. In fact, I think I'm gonna take mine second width, that feels better. I wouldn't go third width, just play with what feels right for you so that you can achieve relatively hips width apart. And then squeeze your block. Good, hold on to that squeeze. I've got my block right between the knees so that the bones are pressing into the block. You can play with where it is as long as it's not too high up in the groin. Keep squeezing. Check out your feet. Are they parallel? Are they hips width apart? And let go of the squeeze. Really let go. Like feel your whole pelvis like open up. And as you exhale, squeeze and hold the squeeze. Don't hold your breath. Upper body should be so relaxed. You are toned through your lower belly. You might notice that the low back flattens when you squeeze. That's okay. Just keep squeezing. Don't give up on me. You know I can't see you. So breathe and let go. Good. 3 more. Squeeze it in. So if you're at home, this and the strap press that we're going to do are 2 of the best, in my opinion, exercises you can do to try to achieve balance between inner thighs and outer thighs. Good. Release. And that's what we're focusing on today. All right, squeeze it. And often I'll just do kind of a count to 10 while I'm squeezing, but don't forget to breathe. And release. We got 1 more. Hang in there. Squeeze that block. Should not hurt. If it hurts, you might need to shift that block up or down a little bit. Or you're squeezing too hard, right? Don't squeeze that hard. And let go. Good. And bring your knees to your chest. Remove your block and just rock a little bit side to side, maybe a few knee circles here. Good. And then bring the knees back to center. Grab your strap with the loop in it that hopefully you were able to find. And take the strap through, or take your feet through the strap and up to your thighs so that the strap is about 2 or 3 inches from your knee, above that knee toward the groin. So you don't want it too high, but you don't want it too close to the knees where it's going to press into the tendons and ligaments. And then put your feet back on the floor, hips width apart. If you're too wide, tighten up the strap a little bit. So we just worked inner thighs by squeezing block. We're going to work outer thighs and hips by pressing against the strap. So same idea, we're squeezing against the strap, don't overdo. If you have a buckle in your strap, make sure the buckle's not pressing into your skin. Breathe and release the press. Good, let's do 4 more. Squeeze against the strap, find your breath. Big deep breath here. Oh yeah. So for me, I feel this down in the lower part of the glutes and the outer hip. It's great work. You can do this sitting, laying down, standing is not as good. Good, release. Don't think I forgot, I didn't forget. Squeeze again. I'm doing it with you, so I can't forget. So breathe, everybody. Just notice, you wanna play a little bit, lift the hips like a 1/2 inch off the floor. Ooh, yeah. And release that squeeze. We got 2 more. Press against the strap. Find your breath. Relax your upper body. One of the best ways to relax your face is just to laugh, to smile. And release 1 more. Ooh, yeah. Anybody not feeling this? Like, wow, so simple, right? What do you need? A strap and a block, and here we are. You can lift that hip, those hips an inch off the floor. Good, make it work a little bit more. And release it. Nice job, everybody. Bring your knees to your chest. Take that loop strap off, set it aside. And then turn on to your side. Let's all do right side, just so I can kind of keep everything straight. So you're on your right side, and I would make it comfortable. You can take your blanket and put that under your elbow. You can come on down. I tend to like this form because it supports the side of the chest and the underarm, and I don't feel like I'm so crunched up. And then bend your knees. So Eileen, we just talked, watch the hip. This one should be fine, but, or whichever one it is. Just watch if that starts to get cranky. Your knees are bent, and your feet are gonna stay together, and you're just gonna lift your knee. A lot of you probably know this one. Keep doing it with me while I talk. Clamshells, right? Simple, simple. This is what you'll see anytime in a physical therapy session if you've got hip or glute issues. The trick here is not to rock the pelvis. Don't take it up so high that you're rocking back and forth. Just take it to where you can, and you should start feeling this little outer hip here. Good, and last one there. Take the knees together. Keep the knees together, lift the foot. So we just did external rotation, now we're doing internal rotation. And depending on where your hips are, right, where they sit in the socket, one will probably be more challenging than the other. That's it, keep it going. Notice, see if you can come to that top spot and then lower. So 4 and 3 and 2 and 1, release. Anytime you need to, just give that a little like release, you know, relax kind of thing. And then knees and feet together. Again, you're gonna alternate. So you're gonna take your knees together and then your feet together, just like that. Oh, right, and so I practice, of course. So already feeling these, I'm in trouble. Keep it going, stop if you're getting fatigued, you're starting to feel pain, right? Breathe, we got 3 more. 3 and 2 and 1 and release. Ooh, maybe straighten that leg. Feel that little stretch through here. Almost done on this side. Hang in there with me if you can. Bend the knees, lift the knees so that it's pretty much parallel. That ankle's not high, the knee's not high. The leg's pretty parallel. And then just bring your knee to your chest and bring it back to neutral. Ooh, yeah. Nest, and there you go. Chest, neutral. 4. How are you doing over there, Miss Betty? 5, 6, ooh, 7, 8, 9, 10. Straighten the leg all the way. Stretch and bring it in for 10. 9, no rocking, keep the leg level. 8, 7, this is joy. 5, I missed 6. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo. Straighten your bottom leg. And if you can, if your hips allow, take your top leg out to the side and just let it relax. It's good stuff, I know, and it's interesting because the hip joints, right? The hip replacements are very popular in this country and often very necessary. But if we can strengthen all the muscles around the joint, we support that joint for a lot longer in our lives. All right, bend the knees. Last one on this side. Lord knows. Lift your knee and pulse, pulse, pulse. That's it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Belly in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Listen up. Straighten the leg. Your toes are pointing straight. So they're not up to the ceiling, they're straight toward your wall. Maybe even turn down just a little bit and baby circles. Oh, breathe. Right. Oh. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And let it go. And this is just the warm-up, folks. Oh, good. Just stretch it out. And let's come up to the other side. Or just turn over if you can follow voice and not need to look at your computer. We'll stretch it out, I promise. All right, so bend your knees. Find that creating neutral pelvis, right? Belly tones in. Your head is supported. You can be down here too, by the way. You don't have to have your head up. Good. And then start with simple clamshells. Yep. There you go. So on this side for me, I have a similar around that hip joint that gets inflamed easily and tendered easily. So I'm just really mindful about how much I do at any one time. We've got 2 left right here. Good. And then drop the knee, lift the foot. Maybe you notice which direction bothers it more or what action bothers it more, right? It's an interesting thing. We just do our best. Good. 4 more right here. 4, 3, belly's toned. 2, and 1. Good. And then lift your knee. Flex your foot, bring your knee to your chest. Squeeze it in to here. Squeeze. Here. You got it. Squeeze. Oh, I knew what I forgot. I knew there was something really important. I'll get to it. Some of you are happy I forgot, but I didn't. There you go. Squeeze in. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the leg. We're going to stay with this one until we're finished. In. That's 9. Big stretch. 8, 7, 6. Woo. 5, 4. You never think 10 is that much. 2, and 1. And rest for a moment. How could I forget the big one? The big one. All right, so alternating knee and foot. So we start by tapping the knee and then the foot. And tap. That's 3. And 4. 5. 6. This is the hardest one, I think. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Oh, and let it rest. Maybe straighten that leg out in front of you and the bottom one straight. Just stretch it. You know, we have the whole iliotibial band that runs from the knee all the way up to that same hip joint. And if that's really tight and the inside is really weak, we can create all kinds of unbalanced things. So bend your knees. We're almost done on this side going quicker. Good. Stretch out your top leg and give me some circles. And just see, right? See how it feels. Do you go bigger? Do you go smaller? Try to keep the toes pointing straight ahead or slightly down. Oh yeah. Ah. And release it. And then press yourself all the way up. Not so bad, right, Betty? It's funny because I record these and I think somebody's watching these going, does she have an imaginary friend? All right, so sit up nice and strong. Have your feet in front of you. If your toes aren't touching, don't worry about that, right? And then I want you to get this sense that you don't need a strap or a block. So I want you to take your elbows if you can reach. If not, it's your hands. Take your elbows between your knees, relax your wrists and hands, and then push your elbows into your knees and your knees into your elbows. And breathe. And think about, right, if you did aerobics classes in the 80s and 90s, sometimes we squeezed a ball, right, like one of those big beach balls. Good, breathe, squeeze, 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 and let go. And guess what, that works, right, upper body too, because we have all that resistance. And then the same thing, the hands go outside the knees. You can go to elbows too if you really want to work. Try not to round your back shoulders, squeeze in, and then push those knees against your elbows. Keep breathing. That's it. Oh, come on, keep squeezing, working outer hips, and release. Good, let's do one more on both sides just so we get some good muscle memory here. Wrists and hands are relaxed, feet are as wide as they need to be, and squeeze in. Keep some resistance there, and breathe. This is a good one. You know, it's again, you don't have to be laying down. You could be at your desk, right, doing work, and you can just go, okay, I need to do something, and release, and then you do this. All right, outside, push against those. Whew, my cat keeps, what the heck? Mine too. Press, 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 breathe. Come on, let's see if we can do 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. And straighten out those legs and shake them out. Nice job, everybody. Rub it out. And then let's come right to table pose. If you have a blanket or something additional to cushion your knees, it would be probably a good idea. We're going to be here for a little bit. So if you want a cushion underneath those knees, I think you might want to do that. You can have your blocks at the front of your mat if you have them. If you don't have them, don't worry about it. And start in a nice, easy table pose. And just start to do a few cats and cows. That's it. Oh, feels so good. Maybe go slower. Maybe feel every part of that spine. And then come to a nice neutral spine. Let's take the left leg out, tone the belly up, lift the leg. And then just notice, right, as I keep lifting, as you keep lifting, can you keep as much tone to the low back and the belly as possible so that you don't just dive into your low back? So lift it at that level for you. Getting a big squeeze of those hips, and then just take the leg to the side a little. We're not taking the knee to the elbow like we did last time. And then take it to center and let it go. Let's go to the other side. Right leg out, right leg lifts. First find that. And then see how much extension you can get from the front right hip to squeeze and engage the butt. And then take it out to the side, toes still point down. Take it center and let it go. Good, one more, both sides. Out, lift, squeeze, try to keep the toes down. Woo, take it back and down. Good, last one, last side. Lift up a little more, squeeze the belly, take the leg out to the side. And release and down. Good, and then right from there, let's take left foot forward into a low lunge. If you want to use your blocks here, sometimes the blocks can be really nice, just to take some of the pressure off the upper body, off the wrists. If you don't have them, your hands are on the floor, no big deal. And then notice that, right? So squeeze your right glute. Squeeze the glute that's where the leg is back. And notice how that feels. Maybe bend your back leg and let it go. And then bend it again, squeeze, let it go. And squeeze, let go. Last one, squeeze, and let go. And then from here, whether your hands are on the blocks or on the floor, intone your belly in and lift your right knee. Hold. Now, my friend Deb, who teaches, said this really interesting thing. She said, raise this leg toward the ceiling, raise that hip toward the ceiling, and at the same time, drop the front hip, front thigh toward the floor. So you have this opposing action that keeps this whole leg active. I like that. We borrow from each other. And then straighten your front leg. In and out. Doesn't have to be big. Press into your big toe mound at that front foot, right? Press down, breathe, long torso, and then bend your knee. And lower that knee to the floor and simply switch. Just switch. So your right leg is forward, your left leg is back. You're giving that glute a nice little squeeze. You're checking out your lunge here. One side tighter than the other, right? What side is that for you? Do you notice that? You notice that difference? And then bend and straighten your back leg. Maybe 4 times, maybe 5 times. If this hurts your knee, by the way, don't do it. Breathe, squeeze it in to the point that you can. Hamstrings cramp easily. Some of yours is cramping. Let it go. One more, squeeze it in. Exhale, let it go. And then flip your toes under, squeeze your belly, lift your left knee off the floor. And do that same thing where the left hip, left back thigh is actually lifting up as the right side is going deeper. Right? Your hips are nice and level, they're nice and even. And then as you can, straighten your front leg. Maybe you look at your foot and notice if you're leaning way to the outside, if your ball mount of your big toe is lifted off, right? See if you can find it as equal as possible. Maybe you drape that body over, maybe you stay up tall. And exhale, lower that knee. Switch sides. Hold, hold, hold. Actually, I'm going to turn around because if I don't, all you'll see is my butt. So I want you to do me a favor. Take the blocks out. You're going to pivot your back leg, like really pivot it. And then you're going to walk your hands between these 2 legs. So what I'm trying to achieve here is the left leg stays 90 degrees, the right leg stays relatively 90 degrees, and I'm in the middle. So you're not going into any kind of weird lunge here. And see if you can find that. See if you can poke your behind back, right? And then explore. Maybe you start to come down a little. If you are, I don't want to say doing it right, but if you are relatively in the pose, what you might feel is that left inner thigh stretching, right? So just be mindful, watch the knee, make sure the knee isn't dropping into the center too much. Maybe you're down on your elbows. The hips are heavy And the behind stays back, so not leaning forward, keeping those hips right over the thighs. Big deep breath. And then if you're down on elbows, go ahead and walk up. Walk your hands back to the center. Flip your toes under, or flip your toes under and come to downward facing dog. Oh, and pedal one foot and then the other. Oh. While you're pedaling, don't forget about your upper body. Don't forget, right? We don't want to dump into our shoulders or wrists. Good, all the way up to tippy toes. And lower your knees to the floor. I'm going to turn myself around and we're going to do the other side. Right foot forward, left foot kicks back. And then we're going to find ourselves kind of in the middle of those two. From your knee to your ankle, you're kind of in the center. The butt stays back so you're not leaning into some weird lunge. And then you're just going to check out this side. What happens when you start to bend the knee or elbows? What happens when you come down to the floor if your hips allow? Big deep breath. See if you can find that inner right thigh. If you hate this pose, you can come on out. You don't have to be here, right? We gotta love our bodies first. But at least explore. And then press yourself up. Walk your hands back to the middle or to your right foot. Lift your left knee and sit back downward facing dog. We're almost done with this series. Hold on. Shake it out. And then come on down, table pose. From here, kickstand your right leg out. So I kickstand out toward the wall. Take your left foot and stretch it long so that your hips start to stack one on top of the other. There's a lot of weird names for this. I kind of call it quarter moon, like half moon and half, just because that's how I remember it. Your right arm and wrist, you can even go to soft fist here, should be just ahead of your shoulder, but in alignment with it. And then bring both hips to the front of the room, both the bottom hip and the top hip, and squeeze your belly. So here's where it gets interesting. See if you can lift, go into a flat hand here. See if you can lift that left leg, right? So guess what we've been working? There it is. I want you to slight pulse up and neutral, slight pulse up. Squeeze the belly, don't arch in your low back, your toes point forward. Pulse up, pulse, oh, yeah baby. Breathe, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold that pose if you can. Lift your hand, your arm up to the ceiling, palm face forward. And then take that hand over your ear, drop the left foot so it's almost to the floor, and stretch. And then lift everything up and squeeze, and let go. Ah, yay! I know. Shake it out. Switch sides. We'll stretch these babies out. But we might as well finish this side, right? The anticipation is killing us all. So just breathe, everybody. Good. And then find that nice neutral pose. Kickstand out your left foot and straighten your right foot. If you were to look for alignment or measurement, before you kick the left foot out, my left foot toes are pointing to my right arch, if that helps. We kickstand it out so that we can have a little wider base of support. And then you're up on that hand. I didn't say this on the other side. Put your hand on the block. It's kind of sweet. So you might want to try that. And then bring both hips to center. And notice how that feels. Your top hand can just stay on your hip for now as we lift that leg. One side's going to be different than the other. Squeeze hard through the belly. Keep the toes pointing forward, and then little pulses. Oh, yeah. There we go. If this is hurting your hip, just keep the foot on the floor. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then hold and feel the contraction. Glute as well as side hip. Take the arm up, palms face forward. Squeeze the belly. And then take that arm overhead, palm face down. The right foot drops almost to the floor. And we see if we can find a big stretch on that side. And then squeeze it all up, back on purpose. And lower it down. And take both knees wide on your mat, feet together, and see if you can find a little soft child's pose. Just breathe. I'm just gonna see if I can find this a little bit of music, background music for us. Right, and just notice how those hips feel. We're stretching them out in child's pose. We're stretching out that lower back in child's pose, right? Good, and then come on up, table pose. Flip your toes under, lift your knees, downward facing dog. Pedal the feet. And then come all the way up to the tippy toes. Just stretch it out. If that hurts, don't do it. And then draw the heels closer to the floor. Widen the sit bones. Squeeze the belly. Squeeze the beach ball between your arms. And walk those hands very much on purpose back to your feet. Nice forward fold. Weight-bearing exercise. So important. And then bend your knees, hands to your knees, squeeze your belly, lift your chest, come all the way up, and roll those shoulders. Good, and then take your blanket, if your blanket's there, take that out of the way. Grab one of your blocks, and you're gonna take it between your thighs, and you're gonna stand at the back edge of your mat. So we're gonna do some slow sun salutations with the block in place so that we work inner thighs. If I were to say, where am I strong, where am I weak? Where are most people strong, most people weak? Inner thighs are not that strong. Outer thighs are strong. We create this imbalance that tugs on the knees, tugs on the hips. So here we are, inner thighs, soft squeeze of that block. Inhale, reach up. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, halfway up. You might take hands to shins and exhale it down. Walk yourself out to downward facing dog. Do an elephant walk. Keep the block in place. Draw the inner elbows toward each other. Press through your fingers. Squeeze your belly. And then plank pose. Whew. And breathe. Now, what are we doing in plank, right? Squeezing the butt, squeezing the block. Inner line of those legs active as all get out. Pressing through those fingers. Lower your knees. Block might feel funny here depending on how you have it. Do a low chaturanga. All the way down. And then lift into a low cobra. Breathe. Lower down. Flip your toes under. Press to plank. Downward facing dog. Breathe. And then walk those hands on purpose all the way back. Until you get back to your feet, bend your knees. Inhale, reach up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Good. Now you have it. Let's do it again. Inhale it up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. How does that feel, that lift, right? Don't lock out the backs of your knees. And lower down. Walk the hands. Make the elephants, or I don't know, right? I'm just loving this walk out with the hands. And then down dog. Keep the shoulders strong, keep the belly toned, but the hips are reaching up, the sit bones widening out. Plank pose. Knees down. Chaturanga. Low cobra, unless that hurts. Don't do it. Breathe. Exhale, down dog. Walk the hands back. Bend your knees, hands to knees, come on up. And notice that, right? How does that feel to you? I'm gonna face forward here, and I just want you to feel your bones, kind of your muscles hug around the block. And notice that when they hug around, the whole sacrum widens. Should feel really nice. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart, nice little squat. How low you go is up to you. Do not force it. Good, inhale, reach up, squeeze your butt. Exhale, come on down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, down. Good, inhale. Exhale. Good, last one, inhale. Exhale, right here, hold, 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 hold. And then bring your hips back as your legs straighten, as your hands come back to the floor. And then you're in a great spot. Move that block out of the way. Shake those hips side to side. Bend your knees, hands to knees. Come on. And roll those shoulders. See, now you don't even feel them, right? They feel good. Take the legs nice and wide on the do that. And if they don't, fake it till you make it. I don't know. You know, some days there's just not enough coffee. So you're in this nice wide leg pose. Toes are pointed forward. Big deep hinge from the hips. And immediately, just so you know, I take those legs and bend the knees just a little bit. As I bring the hips all the way back, and I'm imagining that I'm setting my whole torso on a table. Now, squeeze your inner thighs. Oh, notice the difference. Squeeze the belly in, take your hands to the floor. Come on down, nice wide leg, forward fold. So far, so good. And then come back up to the table, right? Squeeze the belly, squeeze your thighs. Just take your left hand or right hand out to the side. I'll try to mirror here. Nothing more than that. Squeeze your belly, keep the hips level. Lower that hand, take the other hand just out from the shoulder. Are you squeezing your inner legs toward each other? And let go. Bend the knees a little bit more, hands to knees. And come on up. Sweet. And then take your toes and point them out a little bit. You'll know, right? When you go too far, you'll just, I don't know, that's really hard to do. But just find what feels comfortable and then bend the knees so that you can see knees lining up with feet and not dropping into the middle. If your knees drop to the middle, shorten it up a little bit and see if you can stay more neutral. Good. So here we are, we're in this lovely little squat. Take the arms out to the sides, maybe touch thumb and index fingers and straighten up. Exhale, drop down. Inhale, straighten up. And down. Good, take it up. And down. This is purposeful movement. Squeeze it up. Lower it down. Last one, we're holding the down part. Up and down. Let the hands come to your thighs. Roll your shoulders back. Squeeze in through your belly. So what's happening, right? Where do you feel it the most? Is it up here? Do you need to shorten the pose a little bit because you're getting compression? That's okay. If this is so easy, you could, I don't know, read a book. Come out a little bit lower. Breathe. Hands out to the front. You're gonna squeeze them in. Good. Inhale out. Exhale. Inhale out. Exhale. Good. Two more. And back. And last one. And push. Oh, hold. Now squeeze your outer hips to your inner hips. Holy crud. And stand up.
And take the arms up. Victory pose. Good. And release those hands. And just heel toe your feet. And then come right back to the back of your mat. This time you'll block. Inhale, reach up. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, halfway up. And down again. Walk the hands out on purpose. As we do this elephant walk, we're building arm bones, shoulder bones, wrists, pedal the feet. Good. Neutral feet, plank pose. Breathe. Don't sink in. Reach out of this pose. Think about a block between your thighs. Squeeze the inner thigh, squeeze the belly. You got this. I think Betty can do this longer than I can. She's so strong. How about your Z's?
1 minute.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Hang in, hang in, hang in. Lower your knees to the floor. Come on down, slow chaturanga. Ooh. Maybe a low cobra. Oh. And exhale, just lay all the way down. Oh. Maybe bend the knees, maybe wind chill while grow. And then take your legs together. So my whole inner legs are touching. My knees are bent. And I just want you to splay the feet out to the sides. Very similar to what we were doing when we were doing clamshells or reverse clamshells, right? And just notice how that feels. For me, my low back is lifting up or my butt's lifted up a little bit, right? Natural progression of the body. And then bring those together. And then walk the knees out. As wide as you want to go, and bring the feet in. Just like Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet, if you can. Breathe. And then release, walk those knees back in, straighten your legs. Press yourself up to downward facing dog. Down dog should be feeling better and better and better. And then walk your hands all the way back. Oh, bend your knees, everybody. Come on up nice and safe. And roll your shoulders. Roll your shoulders. Oh, shake it out. All right, one more thing here. Wide leg, inner thigh work. And then we're going to move on. Toes are out to the sides just a little bit. If you can, I want you to bend your knees and take your hands to the floor. Soft bend of the knees. If your legs allow, you can straighten them here, but we're going to rock side to side. Do this slowly. Just check out how it feels to both your outer thigh, especially in that hip joint, and the inner thigh as we stretch. You don't have to go deep, right? No competition. Just feeling it. Remember your behind is back so that your hips stay aligned. The next time you are bent, go over to the right. See if you can hold. So my right knee is bent, my left leg is straight. Trying to ground that left leg a little bit, one way or the other. Your left hand comes toward the center of your mat. My right hand goes to my shoulder. And I'm just going to open it up, take the arm up into a little twist, and breathe. Feel the stretch on your left side. And exhale, release. Good, go to the other side, pause, just hang out. How's this side feel? No pain. Your right hand center of the mat, your left hand to your shoulder. Just see where the twist is going to go and extend the arm from there. So much tighter on this side. Wow. Big deep breath. And exhale down. Both hands to the mat. Go side to side. Come to center. Both knees are bent. One hand to one knee, one hand to the other knee. Lift your torso and stand up. Now, while you're standing, and while the legs are relatively straight, I want you to squeeze the legs together as if you were trying to hang on to a beach ball there, right here. And notice that as I'm squeezing here, what else are you feeling? Right? It's connected. Right? We know that. It's all connected. Good. Just hang in there with me. Stay with that squeeze. Here's the thing I learned a long time ago. Let go of the squeeze. Bend your hips and come on down to a forward fold. So a lot of people, when they're coming up from forward folds, feel it in their lower backs, and it's because their legs aren't active. So here I want you to tone the belly, but then I want you to squeeze the inner thighs. And just lift your hands off the floor. And notice that none of the weight is coming into your back, all in the legs. And then let go, and lift your hands. Be careful here. And notice there's more weight, at least for me it is, more weight in my back because I'm not supporting it with my legs. All right, so squeeze the inner thighs. Lift your chest halfway up, really squeeze. See if you can take the arms out to the sides. Big deep breath, and then come all the way up. And exhale. Shake it out, good. Let's step those legs together. Woo! We are gonna feel that. So come on to the front of your mat. Have a block available if you have one, that would be great. Take your left foot forward, right foot back. So always when I look at alignment, it's either heel to heel or heel to arch, depending on where you're at. And just bend and straighten your front leg a little bit. Just a little, just to check your alignment. Make sure that front left hip is staying back and not rolling forward. Good, the next time the leg is straight, hold it. Triangle pose. Maybe you look at your knee and see that your knee is pretty much straight. It's not rolled in, it's not rolled out. And then tone the belly, and then feel the legs. Squeeze them toward each other. Take the arms out. Good, from here, lean forward. I want you to do something maybe a little different. Take your back hand to your hip. Squeeze the belly in. Take your front hip to your thigh. So you're not low at all, right? Because what happens? We go too low, it feels terrible. We lock out our knee, we dump into our hip. Good, chest open. Now take your back hand and just spin your low ribs to the front. And then slowly walk the hand below the knee. Were you able to maintain this open chest, open ribs, right? All that. Yes? Go a little lower. I invite you, I dare you, go slow. What's happening? Are you losing the strength in the back leg? Can you re-ground the back leg? Now, either this hand stays right on the shin, right? I'm not collapsing, I'm lengthening this underside body. Or you can take that hand to your block outside your left ankle. Or you can take it to the floor. I'll tend to take my fingertips to the floor and then press my hand into my leg as my leg presses back. If you're still good, arm up. If not, keep it down at the hip. Big deep breath, belly in. Look up if you want, but if that strains your neck, don't do it. Good, now the fun part. Squeeze everything in. See if you can lift. Turn your toes. Everything's facing the same direction. Big deep into those hips. Come on down. Good. Squeeze inner thighs. Arms out if you want. Big core. Take it up. And exhale. Step the legs together. I just thought of this thing. You would make a bad face, and my mom would go, "Your face is going to freeze like that." I think Lincoln said that, or somebody said that years ago. And I just thought,
If I don't release, my legs are gonna freeze like that. That would be really tough to walk around with. All right, we're gonna go to the other side. Block is to the outside, right foot forward, left foot back. Right, so many of us do triangle on a regular basis, and we don't break it down. We don't go, okay, what's really involved here? And the more we hug these muscles into the bones, the more we're gonna gain strength, both muscle strength and bone strength. So check out the front leg, make sure, actually bend and straighten a couple times. See if that knee continues to track toward the pinky toe or that second and third toe, and then hold it straight. Straight is not locked. There is a difference. And then tone in through here, and give a little squeeze to the beach ball, right through the inner thighs. Good, keep your back hand on your hip, take the front hand out. Reach out a little bit, and then just take your hand to your thigh. Watch when your hand is here that you're not just pulling, pushing that knee flat. And one side's gonna be different than the other, it depends on so much. Take your back hand and grab your underside ribs and see if you can open them up. And when I did that, I don't know if you were looking at the computer, my back foot readjusted to a better alignment. So that was kind of cool. And then take this front hand and just let it slide below the knee. Did you lose the ribs? Did your shoulders start to come forward? Did you arch in your low back? Right? What's happening in your particular body? If you feel good, really press into those legs. Come on down a little bit lower. See if you can keep the underside torso really long. And then either take your hand to your block or to the inside ankle. Take the other arm up. Squeeze the heck out of the legs. Belly super toned. Maybe look up. Maybe not. Big deep breath. Keep squeezing the legs. Keep pressing. If squeeze doesn't work, push away. Good. You know what to do. Come on up. Oh. Release. Turn your toes. Heel toe them in. Shake it out. Good. And then feet just a little bit wider. Come on down. Easy forward fold. Just stretch out the back body. If you know your low back shouldn't be rounding at all, maybe you keep it halfway up. That's it. Bend your knees. Come on up, everybody. Roll it out. So where does that bring us, right? To a balanced pose. So make sure your props and things are out of the way. I'm going to take my nice thick mat and just roll it out of the way because I don't care. I don't want to fall. You might want to be near a wall. If you want that for balance, it'd be a wonderful thing. We're going to start pretty easy. So start in a good solid mountain pose and pretend you're squeezing a block so that your hips get really active really quickly, glutes and hips. And then hands stay up, shift over. I'm not going to mirror here, so I'll be opposite what you're seeing. I'm going to shift into my right foot and just lift my left knee. And I'm going to check that out a little bit. How's that feel? Maybe I tap down and lift up again. If you're near a wall, just fingertips to the wall, right? So that you work on balance safely for you. Once that knee is up and you can hold it there, hold it there. Ground through that right foot and then everything we've been working today. Squeeze it in, both the inner thigh working and the outer hip and glute working. Good. Take your left hand under your thigh and turn that leg out to the side. External rotation. You're either going to stay here, or you're going to see if that leg will straighten, or you're going to grab your ankle. Woo! I'm going too fast. Or you're going to grab your toe. Where is it for you? Keep squeezing the standing leg. Woo, and then bend. And then see if you can transition out and down. Shake it out. There are so many variations of that pose, right? This is a variation, this is a variation, this is a variation. The secret is not to collapse. If we reach too far and our upper body does that, don't do that. All right, same thing other side, left leg. Press into the left leg, feel that cute little butt get active. And when you're ready, hands to hips, all I want you to do is raise and lower. We, generally speaking, have one side stronger than the other, one side more flexible than the other. And to my friend out there watching who said all the flexibility, this is so important because we have to find balance between flexibility and strength, right? Flexibility and stability. So muscle work. All right, when you're ready, if you're ready, just lift the knee. You might stay right there. If you're good, take the right hand underneath the thigh and take it out to the side and re-squeeze your left hip. And then see where your leg will go. Maybe it'll straighten. Maybe you're grabbing the shin. Maybe you're grabbing your big toe. Maybe none of the above. Right? Breathe. Keep working. Oh, and come on now. I just revealed my weak side. Left side. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, shake it out, everybody. Whichever side this week, do that one more time. We're gonna whip it into shape. Please don't. All right. So my left leg standing is my weaker side, and my right hamstrings are tight. So both sides, right? Both things, weaker left standing, tighter right hamstring, are affected by this pose. So I'm just gonna see if I can find it. See if you can find it, your side. Not bad. Maybe a bent knee works better. Yeah. And now shake it out. Holy moly. Good. If you moved your mat out of the way, go ahead and spread it back out again. And then to the front of your mat or whatever side you want. Inhale, take it up. Exhale all the way down. Soften both knees, step back to downward facing dog. Pedal the feet. Inhale the tippy toes. And exhale down to your knees, wide knees. If you can, wide knees, child's pose. Stretch it out. And then as you're ready, I want you to come down to your bellies. All the way down. So your head is relaxed. On your forearms, on your hands, somewhere where it feels okay. Your legs are nice and long. Your pubic bone is pressing into the mat. Your belly is slightly toned right here. And then simply lift your left leg without, leg is straight, without lifting your hip bone off the floor. And if you're not sure where your hip bone is, you should feel it digging into your mat a little bit. Point the toes and just feel the stretch and the work, right, that we've been doing all along, right there. And lower that down. Other side, first press the pubic bone and the hip bone, and then lift the leg and breathe. Point the toes. Feel the work in the glute. Try to level out the left hip, even though the right hip is lifted. And lower down. Good. Let's see both legs come up. It's not going to go far, right? Not as far as that individual leg, But breathe and feel the hips working, everybody. And lower down, shake it out. And then come up to Sphinx pose. So here's something that I noticed as I was working on engaging the glutes, that if your glutes aren't engaged, back bends are much harder. Why is that? You would think, right? I was told for years and years, don't squeeze your glutes and back bends, leave it loose. But Doug Keller explains that in order to extend the front body, the back body has to contract. It makes so much sense, right? So I just want you to try something. Legs are long, but I don't want you to squeeze your hips or glutes. Keep them loose. And then drop your chest down, drop your belly down, and then press up to Sphinx. Nothing really going on, nothing engaged. Press into your hands, start to lift the arms, and notice where, or elbows, and notice where you feel it. For me, it's right here. It's right in my low back. Lower down. Good, lower all the way down and shake it out. And then come on back on elbows, but this time I want you to engage your glutes. And once you've engaged your glutes, you notice that your low belly lifts up off the floor, away from the floor a little bit, right? So low belly tone, glutes are active. And notice how the low back feels. Then see what happens when you press in your hands and lift your elbows, right? A lot less. If you still have some discomfort, come down a little, right? And see if the engagement of the glutes are going to help you work on your back bends, because the front body is extending, right? Feel good. Walk the hands up a little bit. Go a little deeper. Please be honest with your body. Do not sit in pain. I had low back pain in yoga for years because I didn't know there was an option. Oh, and oh, bend your knees, lift your over those legs. I hope that helped you with your back bend thoughts. And play with that. Play with it all week long. Where can you go in your back bending that doesn't irritate your low back? All right, legs straight, turn all the way around. Come on down to your back. Ooh, and feet to the floor for a moment. So the temptation is to bring your knees to your chest. Just have your feet on the floor and pelvic tilts and touch. Yeehaw. That should feel good. And then neutral spine, take the left leg up to the sky. Externally rotate. And then internally rotate. External, internal. Good, externally rotate, hold that. Let's come right to the figure four. Bring those knees toward your chest. Stretch out the hip. Maybe rock a little bit side to side. Notice if you lean toward the right side a little bit, you might feel more stretch in the outer left hip. It feels so good. Good. Maybe rock, right? Just feel that. And then flex your foot. Take your hips back to center. One, stay right here. Two, leave your left leg exactly the way it is and stretch your right leg away from it. And then bring it back. Good. One more here. We're trying to teach the muscles to engage without this counterpoint. So keep the leg where it is, squeeze your belly, push the right leg away from it. Big deep breath, and bring it back. And then cross your knee all the way over. So left knee is on top, right knee is underneath, and bring your knees to your chest. And only if you want, separate heel from heel, come into cow face. Legs, right? That's a beauty. That'll stretch out that left hip pretty easily. Don't force it. If your shoulders are way off the floor and your head's hanging, don't do it. You can grab ankles too, by the way. You can grab shins. And release those heels back down toward your hips. Let your feet come to the floor. Legs are still crossed. Left leg is over right. Be gentle here as you lower your knees to the right. So coming into a twist. There is absolutely no reason to make those knees come all the way to the floor. You should feel the stretch all along that hip, maybe the outer thigh. Soften the belly here, soften the jaw. Good, now squeeze the belly, squeeze the legs together and lift those knees back up. Undo your legs, straighten both legs. I haven't forgotten the other side, I'm just getting some of that compression out from the hip joints. And bend both knees, both feet on the floor. Your right leg goes up to the ceiling. Externally rotate and internal. External. The way your legs work here can give you a lot of information about where that femur bone, the thigh bone, comes into the hip socket. Good. External, internal, and then take it externally rotated. Toes are pointing out. Bend your knee, ankle to knee. Come on up. Bring those knees up. Upper body soft, relax. Rock a little side to side. Maybe lean toward the left a little bit more to find a little more stretch in the right outer hip. Don't lean so much that you feel like you're going to fall over. Just enough. Your right knee presses out while your left knee presses in. And then back to center. Flex foot, flex knee, belly's toned. See if you can keep your right foot right where it is and stretch your left leg. Notice my upper body is just like spaghetti here, right? I'm not forcing this by crunching up my face and my neck and my shoulders. Breathe. And bring it in slow. Re-engage, maybe a little bit deeper stretch. Keep that foot hip where it is, and let go with the leg one more time, stretch it out. And bring it in. Nice job. And then cross knee over knee. Bring both knees to chest. Sometimes that's plenty enough stretch right there. And if you feel good, just move the heels away from each other. You don't even need hands, right? You can just move them away. Or you can take your hands to your outside feet or your shins, come into cow face legs. Beauty of a stretch right there. And let those heels go. Keep the legs. Arms are out to the side. You're slowly going to twist to the left. Go slow, be mindful. I should have said this on the other side, but if it is just too deep, uncross your legs, because this makes that twist a little deeper. And breathe, everybody. Soft jaw, soft belly. Then squeeze the belly, squeeze the legs. Bring those legs back to center. Undo both legs, straighten both legs. Good, and then just optional here, we're going to do back to a supine Baddha Konasana, or soles of the feet together. If you would like, and you have your block handy, you can even probably do it without having to get up. Just set the block between your feet, walk it out a little bit, And then put your feet on top of the block for Baddha Konasana. So that you have a little bit more room, it's a little bit more gravity, so please be mindful there. If it hurts anything, then don't do it, take the block off. But then just kind of notice and then let both hands rest on your inner thighs. If you don't like the feet on your block, go ahead and take it out. It's not that big a deal one way or the other. Good, and then I want you to squeeze everything this center, hips, knees, or not knees, hips and glutes and maybe feet a little bit just for the good inhale. And then exhale fully. Good, inhale, squeeze. Exhale fully. One more time, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And exhale. And then pause here just for a few more breaths. Allowing those hips to relax. We did a lot of hip work and a lot of inner thigh work. And if your feet are on the block or even if they're on the floor, I just want you to raise your left knee and put that left foot down. So you're stepping on your left foot. Put your right leg still out to the side. And then switch. First, take the left knee back out to the side. Bring the right leg up so you're standing on the right foot. And then down. And both knees to center. Oh, good. And then move your block out of the way. And straighten one leg and then the other. And let's find Shavasana. In your Shavasana, try to let your whole body relax. Jaw soft. See if you can find yourself melting into the floor, into your mat. Letting go of all that tugs at your heart. Just letting go for now. Or as someone once said, instead of letting go, let it be. Just let it be. There was an article this morning about secondary pain. And it was a Buddhist article, and the article said that the first, he equated it to two arrows. The first arrow is the pain, and the second arrow is what we do with the pain, what we think about it, all of that. So maybe we just let go of anything else and just be with the present moment. The whole article was about being in this present moment and not adding to. See if there's anything else that you can let go onto your mat and into the earth. Is there anything else? Bring your awareness back. Start to wiggle your toes, your fingers. Slowly bend your knees, maybe circle those knees a little bit. Just check out how you're feeling. And then slowly allow those knees to go to one side or the other. Find your breath. And then as you're ready, press all the way back up, coming up to a seated pose. Drawing those shoulders nice and wide. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Bow to your own inner wisdom, that grace, that love, that compassion. Namaste. And let me stop recording.